Hi mga kabano, have you ever been up to Ilocos Norte, specifically around like Lawag and Pauay? Meron sila dito yung isang specialty na Poque Poque pizza. Poque Poque is the local term in Ilocos Norte for eggplant, and Poque Poque is a slang term in Tagalog for something else that I'm not going to say online. So people really find this like a hilarious name of a recipe, but what we're really talking about when we say a Poque Poque pizza, it's basically an eggplant frittata pizza, okay? No innuendo whatsoever, at least coming from me. Now, this is a really cool recipe because, you know, again, similar to the laing linguine recipe that I did recently, which you can check out, we're taking sort of Italian cooking, we're mixing with Filipino cooking, which is super cool. And I tried this out a couple of years back when I was actually up in Lawag, and I'd heard about it as a specialty, and you know, it's actually really delicious. If I was to say what it is in English, it's kind of like frittata, but then on a pizza, right? Because you got scrambled eggs going in there, you got eggplant, you got tomatoes, you got cheese, so it feels like kind of you have frittata on a pizza base, but more like a pizza, I guess. So on that note, let me show you how to cook Poque Poque pizza a la Chris Urbano right here on Maputing Cooking. Let's get into it. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna prepare our tomato base for the pizza. So we're gonna have a combination of both fresh tomatoes and also tomato paste, which I've got over here. Of course, we'll start with a little bit of garlic and onion, about a tablespoon of diced garlic, and one small red onion should be enough there. This is just for the base, like for a sauce, so you don't want your onion too chunky. It should just be very finely chopped. And while those are cooking, I'm gonna go and get my eggplant ready. Now, I've cheated a little bit here to do this recipe faster for you guys today. This is eggplant that has been roasted over fire. So on a gas stove, you can just, you know, literally burn the outsides, char the outsides of the eggplant on a gas stove. If you want to see how to do that exactly, watch a video of it, check out my Tortang Talong recipe. We'll also put a link up here, and we show you how to roast eggplants just over an ordinary household gas stove. And once you've done it once, it's really easy to do it actually. Just feels a bit scary the first time because you're like, wow, do I just stick a vegetable straight on my stove? But yeah, you do just stick the eggplant straight on the stove. Okay, but these have been roasted, then we peel off that charred outside, and we're just left with this nice cooked flesh, and it has a really smoky flavor now from that, that roasting process. And I'm just gonna rough chop this to some pieces like this, which will just make it a little bit easier to cook and mash over in this pan here. Back to my garlic bawang. That's nicely cooked now. My garlic's just a little bit crispy. I'm gonna go in some fresh tomatoes. I've got a masher here, and I'm just gonna, you know, crush those a little bit. And over here, I'm sort of crushing up that eggplant that's been roasted, chopped into pieces. Now it's fried in olive oil, and I'm sort of mashing it into a rough paste. The smell on this is amazing. You can smell yung roast na notes coming off it, the smokiness. Okay, now next we're gonna add some eggs to this, this eggplant here. I'll just do about 4 muna. I'm gonna scramble them quickly. And we'll season this with some soy sauce. About a tablespoon of soy sauce. And I'll season it with just a bit of pepper. No salt because the soy sauce is bringing the salt for this one. Okay, so my topping here is basically done. I'll cut the heat on that one. And over here with my tomato sauce, I got those fresh tomatoes. They've softened up nicely. So I'll just give those a bit of a mash to help the process there, and then add my tomato paste. And you know, this is really how to make a base for pasta sauce. You know, you can just put straight tomato paste on, but there's not enough going on there. You could throw in a bit of fresh or dried oregano dito sa tomato paste as well. You know, really finely chopped fresh oregano would really make this sing. But you see that's now rich, it's chunky, because we've just supplemented that sort of store-bought tomato paste with some real tomatoes and some real flavor from that sauteed garlic and onion. So what I'm gonna do next is we're gonna make the pizzas, and I'll just put a touch of olive oil muna just on the bottom of the pan, and that's just to stop any risk of sticking. Now, if you're total pizza aficionado, then of course you can make the base from scratch. I'm doing this how I would do it if I was you on Friday night, looking to save some time, which is just to buy a store-bought pizza base, which, you know, largely does a pretty good job, right? But of course, you know, feel free to make a pizza base if you prefer that. And I'm gonna make 2 of these, so I'll just put half of my sauce down muna. I'm gonna make one for all of you watching my Poteng cooking, and then, you know, we got a hungry team here who are helping me make the show, so I'm gonna make them a second one afterwards. All right, and I'm just gonna spread that tomato sauce out a bit. Next, we'll put on a, you know, very thin layer of sprinkling of this mozzarella cheese. Don't skimp on this, don't try to use quick melt. I know it's cheap, but if you're gonna do this properly, you know, the mozzarella is what's gonna make it feel like a pizza and not just like frittata on bread. You know, when you have that like stretchiness of the mozzarella once it starts to melt. So, and then we come to the poke poke mixture. And this I'm gonna try and sort of break up and spread across the full area of the pizza base. Just use the spoon to sort of flatten that out, and then there's your topping. And then we're gonna go and finish this with a little bit more mozzarella, probably a slightly thicker layer this time because it's the top of the pizza. You just crumble that over the top. And then the last thing I'm going to do, just to tip the hat to the Italian origins of this dish, I got my fresh basil here, and I'm gonna finish this with some nice big basil leaves. When we put these in the oven, they'll sort of kind of shrink a little bit, crisp up a little bit, so they'll look fantastic when this comes out. Okay, and there it is. Now all that's left to be done is to place this in the oven, 180 degrees. Remember, you've got a fully cooked base there, so you only need long enough in the oven to kind of crisp up the pizza base and melt the cheese, get it to a golden brown. So that could be, you know, just 10 to 12 minutes, depending on your oven. If you've got like a quality fan-forced oven, or probably 15 to 18 minutes in convection, but shouldn't take more than that. So we're gonna pop this in the oven here. And in just, you know, 10, 15 minutes time, we're gonna have a delicious pizza ready to eat and try on this show. I'll be back very soon, but in the meantime, don't forget you can subscribe to the channel by clicking the subscribe button below. Please leave a comment, I read all of them. And if you wanna help me take Filipino food global, dishes like Poke Poke Pizza, where we're doing really cool fusion cooking right here in the Philippines, please remember to share this recipe on your Facebook or your other social network, and tell your friends about it, because we have a fantastic cuisine here in the Philippines that we should all be really proud of. I know I am, and I know you guys are too, so let's spread the word. And thanks for helping me take Filipino food global as well, because it's my passion. All right, super excited guys. This is the first time I've had Poke Poke Pizza here in the Philippines, sariling gawa din. So I'm gonna start cutting it with this pizza wheel here. I'll probably go into 6 slices. Look at that smoke just coming up when I crack the crust of cheese. That's really cool. This is probably gonna be too hot to eat right away. But have a look at that. It's like really thick. And you know, I think what's cool about this is, you know, most pizza, typical Italian or American pizza, will, you know, have a lot of meat in it. I mean, when you consider it, this is actually a vegetarian pizza, but the smell is like smoky and really meaty and substantial. So it's actually a great option if you're looking for a pizza that's, you know, more, it's vegetarian and probably healthier, but it's still quite a substantial pizza, you know, not just a margarita pizza or, you know, pizza with tomato sauce and cheese. I mean, who wants that, right? All right, let's give this a taste. Hopefully it's cooled down enough. Oh, wow, hot. It's still very hot. Because you got that lovely smokiness, but I think I find I'm just looking for something. So I would probably put a little bit of either flaked tinapa or the anchovies, and I think that would really perfect this dish for me. But of course, if you're a vegetarian, you don't want it at all. It is pretty tasty on its own. I would do the basil leaf though if you're having it straight vegetarian, as it just gives that a little bit more interest and kick to the dish. Anyway, so that is Poke Poke Pizza by Chris Urbano. If you'd like this recipe, please tell your friends about it and what we're doing here with Filipino food on Poteng Cooking. You can always leave a comment below. I read every single comment you guys write. I really appreciate the support. And of course, you know, check out our Facebook page, Maputing Cooking. Check out our Instagram, Maputing Cooking. And the website, of course, is maputingcooking.com. You can go there and you'll find all of the recipes that we cook on this show. You can sign up to our mailing list and get a recipe from me in your mailbox as well. So check that out. It's been great having you guys today. Kain na tayo. And I will see you next week or two with another recipe from me. Bye now. All right, so the next step here is, we're a really professional operation here at Maputing Cooking. We never make production errors. Nobody ever runs through the camera. Never happens.